Good evening, guys. I don't know if our gracious host is going to be here on time tonight, but I did warn him I was going to start the live because I believe in punctuality and I take this very seriously. So welcome to the Black Table, and our guest is already here. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Our gracious host should be here shortly, but I am the co-host, Mia, and it is nice to see you guys tonight. I'm not going to waste a whole lot of time. I see you guys coming in. We have a very special guest this evening. Her name is Aziza Jaye, and I'm going to give you a biopic on her real quick, a nice little bio, and we're going to get going. I am trying to see if our host is coming, so let me just send him an invite, and I'm going to jump on the bio. I'm assuming everybody can hear me. So let me go ahead and read the bio for this. So again, welcome to the Black Table to everyone joining. Thank you guys so much for coming out. Our guest tonight is Aziza Jaye. She is an independent artist straight from the UK. This singer, songwriter, and now beat maker began her music journey at age 14, winning a local singing competition. Since then, she has gone on to perform around the world in beautiful places such as Israel, Spain, Turkey, and many more. 15 years in, she is now fully focused on her craft and taking her sound to the next level. And without further ado, I would like to please welcome Aziza Jaye. Aziza, feel free to come on up, send me an invite, and I will bring you right on up. Guys, let's give her just a minute. I know she's in here. This takes a minute because it's not like it was pre-COVID when you could just walk in, sit down next to each other. Everything is digital, so it takes just a moment. Bear with us, guys. There you are, Jay. And there's Aziza. Bear with me. Let me get these requests from both of you.
Hello.
Hi, beautiful.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Hello, hello.
Hi. Hi, Jay. I told you I'm starting on time no matter what everybody else is doing. Aziza was waiting on us.
Right.
She was here ready to go. Now, do you want to switch it or do you want to stay where we are? Because I could not leave our guest waiting. She was ready to go in DM. So let's see.
I know why my boss.
All right, so we have someone trying to come up. I don't know why it's so hard to hear you guys. It's like, of course, I do have a fan going because the AC is still out here.
It's not that kind of weather over here. It's pretty cold.
It's cold?
August. Yeah, it's supposed to be summer, but it's not really summer vibes, you know?
Oh my gosh, I would trade you right now because
no.
I have no AC. Like there's literally, let me show you the fan. There's literally a fan on me right now so that I do not sweat off all of my makeup and everything.
Okay.
But yeah, guys, second, because we're losing.
Hey, love.
I think we're losing our host again, but I'm sure he'll be back. He's having some connection issues. But we are not going to take guests just yet, guys, or guest questions. We're not going to bring anybody else up because I want to give Aziza the floor for a moment. So, Aziza, welcome, first of all, to the Black Table.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming. First of all, you are so beautiful. I love your hair.
Thank you.
What inspired you to go purple?
I kind of just, it's kind of my brand. I call it my soul color. Not my favorite, but my soul color. So I'll go with that.
You know what? Purple is infamous for being known as the royal color. Purple Rain, Prince. His whole thing with the purple was because purple was very regal and royal. So that is a great color to pick. Let me just say that.
Well, I hope I live up to the mark, you know?
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, it sounds like you already are from that bio. So
well, yeah,
it's been
quite
like,
a journey.
What was it like starting out at age, was it 14?
Yeah. So, nobody really knew I could sing. So it was one of them things like I was in a local singing competition and people were selling tickets. My family had bought like 14 tickets. And I was real nervous because nobody had heard me sing before. Yeah. So my nana came backstage and she's like, Jessica, if you are going to go and embarrass me, please just don't go. I was like, no, I think I've got a chance. I think we're going to be all right. And then I ended up winning, and then I just kind of got the bug, and that was the end of it.
Well, I was going to say, if you won, I'm sure they weren't embarrassed by the end of it all.
No, they wasn't. It was kind of shocked, you know?
Yeah.
It was a big shock, even to me.
So our host has come back in. Jay, you kind of lagging a little bit, and you keep getting disconnected. What is going on over there tonight? You having problems?
I don't. So I was lagging because I realized I was on my phone's LTE, and I wasn't actually on the Wi-Fi in my home. So when I went to switch over to the Wi-Fi, everything just crashed.
I got you.
So I had to reboot everything. And then when I went to start the live up, I had problems with that too. So I was just like, whatever.
Well, you know what, guys? That's why we have a co-host, because he always has my back and I'm always going to have his. And I told him, rather than us be late, I'm always going to, you know, if I'm not there, he's going to start it, because the guest is important. We are never going to agree to a time and keep you guys waiting. That is so important.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Punctuality. Hi, Kenny. So if you guys have any questions for Aziza, feel free to type them in chat or grab a spot. We've got one open spot where you can come in and ask your questions if you want to talk to her live. I'm telling you, she's an amazing artist. I've heard some of her music. It is posted on her page. We're also going to, Aziza, where can they go to find your music? What is the best place?
The best place at the moment is just to follow my Instagram, because I am having like a whole rebranding situation. So I literally just took everything down, and I'm starting again as of September the 14th. So my first new release will be out on September the 14th.
Awesome. So you guys.
Oh, okay. I was wondering what that. I was wondering what happened to like where your music was, because I was looking for it, and I was just going through your post, but then when I went to like click the link and stuff like that, I couldn't find none. I'm like, well, I know she's an artist, so where's the music? So I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah. In the meantime, there's some collaborations that I've been doing and working on, so you can find them in the Linktree bio. I call that my weird music, where I just express myself and just make lots of strange sounds and see how it comes out. But yeah, it's been a journey. I'm loving it. So
Viva Henry says, can we hear a piece of her music? Guys, if you wouldn't mind performing something for us before you leave here tonight, I think that would be awesome to everyone. We just started, guys. She's going to get to it. But she is absolutely going to perform for us.
I do have a question. And I think that from one artist to another, because I'm an artist myself, what is it that you like most about doing music?
It's really just the fact that it's only it's a feeling that's not limited by any kind of language, or even like, because I do sign language, so I work with deaf people.
I noticed that, and it was, I think, your last post, and I actually really thought it was dope.
Yeah, so like I've been doing some like workshops and things, working with deaf people and teaching music, which sounds bizarre, but they can feel it just as we can. It's a vibration. So once you kind of tune into the fact that it's a vibration and a frequency, the feeling is just the core kind of thing. It stops being about sound, you know?
Baron asks, Aziza, what accent is that? Is that London proper or Cornwall?
Oh, wow. So London is about 3 or 4 hours away from me, and Cornwall is about 7. So this is this is South Yorkshire, Sheffield. So it's not as glamorous as London, but you know, I can get there in 3 hours and pretend.
I mean,
so
most of us love your accent just because it's an accent, because we're American.
So this is funny that that I'm actually hearing your accent, because there was a girl that I used to do work with in the United Kingdom, and we've done a lot of collaborations and stuff. So she would come out with a song, I'd get on it. I'd come out with a song, she'd get on it. I don't know if you ever done it, but the combination of your accent and the combination of my accent or our accent, that is the most awesome tracks that you can ever hear. And I don't, like I said, I don't know if you ever done that, but if you haven't, if you find you a good artist who's really good at it and he's on the same level as you, the like you said, it's the feeling. That feeling is so unlimited when you hear somebody that's way across on the other side. And you know, you guys are both working the same thing, and when you get on the track, the frequency is right there. I love the accent. That's like, I really love the accent. I love working with like a lot of United Kingdom artists and stuff like that. It's a good vibe. It's a really good vibe, because I think what it is more so is you guys say things properly, like completely to the T. And we get lazy, so everything is just a slang. Everything just drops off, you know. We don't fully say the word. So you put them two together, it's just like, wait, we got two different, like they're both speaking English, but one is proper, one is non, like one is broken in a way. So it's kind of dope. It's kind of awesome.
That's so funny. Do you know what? For me, I'm like, to have a song, if you got a song and you're like, yeah, this song slaps, like, you know, it's a banging song, and then you get someone with an accent, just when you think you've been slapped, you get slapped. Do you know what I mean? So,
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like a double whammy, so I love that.
I know that feeling. That's why I said I was looking for your music and stuff, because I was first thing I checked out is your bio, and I noticed on your bio is that you said that you do all genres. So which was interesting, because there's not a lot of people that can do all genres. I noticed you sing. I noticed you rap. I noticed you. What else do you do exactly?
So I make beats as well, but that's kind of like something that started.
That's the producing side. Yeah.
So that's not kind of one of them things that I've been doing as long as I have singing, but I do feel like sound just translates. Do you know what I mean? It's just a case of learning how to work the program to do what I hear in my head.
Yeah.
Okay, Baron says, I find British people sound a little Southern, like Mississippi, when singing at least. I don't really know what to say about that. Y'all can comment on that.
Sometimes it's like, some people imitate. Do you know what I mean? Some people imitate.
So I do feel like I somewhat agree to what he's saying, but at the same time, like I said, United Kingdom, you guys speak more proper. Then, as opposed to people like in Mississippi, once again, their language is broken. Even though it's more country, but it's still broken. It's not a full like for instance, like it's the one word we always say. Like for instance, if we say got, you're not going to hear the T. It's going to sound like we're going to say God. That's how we that's how it is. So when you guys say it, is different, and it's not a bad thing. Like I said, I do like it. So I agree, but
kind of not.
It's kind of like in the middle.
See, where I'm from, I'm quite common. So like,
hang on. B. Bannon says that's how I play piano by vibration and not as much as sound, and that's a beautiful statement. And he said he's already he is already a fan of it.
Thank you. Yeah, I love that. And I've been trying to teach myself keys as well. So maybe you could teach me something.
I have a keyboard as well. I'm still learning how to play piano. Trust me, I am horrible with it. I am learning. So like when I make and produce beats, it's all by sound and me putting instrumentals together. And like you said, sometimes it just comes off your head. But actual live, instrumentals is something I'm still learning. What I did want to ask you though, with your music, how are you able to incorporate the speaking in sign language at the same time you rapping your music? How are you able to do that? Because that would seem like something that would confuse me. Like you're speaking two different languages. You're speaking sign language and you're speaking English at the same time. And the way at least when I watched the video, the way and how fast you kept up with it, it's just like, how are you able to do that?
It's literally, I wrote the song and then I had to learn how to sign it. and because the linguistics of sign language is not the same as spoken language. So rather than saying like, oh, what is your name? You'd say, name what you. So that all has to be taken into account. So like, I had to learn it and then practice and practice and practice to be able to keep up with myself. It was really hard.
I was wondering that because I thought that was very interesting that you did that, and I was like, that is real crafty, because if it's one thing I know, there's a lot of people that I follow who's dancers and stuff, and they're all in the entertainment thing. But there's one thing that I did not see out of all of it, but what yours stood out is the fact that you're an artist, and basically you speak sign language, and you put both of those together, and it just makes a great piece of content. So I was just wondering how you did that, because that just definitely looked. Let me tell you, you couldn't catch me. Couldn't catch me.
Hang on. Baron says, what is your inspiration when creating beats?
Again, just the feeling, so that's kind of why I go for the genreless thing, because it doesn't put a cap on whatever mood I'm in. So if I'm up and I'm vibing, the beat is going to sound like that. And if I'm feeling laid back, the beat's probably going to sound like that. But one thing that I always like to do and create in music is again, playing towards the feeling side of things, have the moment where, you know, if you imagine you're at a festival or you're at some kind of performance and you've heard a haunting vocal or whatever, and you're just about to cry, just as that piece of emotion hits you, the beat drops and your hands are up in the air and you're like vibing. You know what I mean? That
Exactly.
I try to
exactly
that all the time.
We've got who is this? Roberto. Roberto, we can't see you, but go ahead if you have a question for our guest. So I think we lost him. I don't know why it's so hard for everybody to keep a connection on here. It happens night after night.
Instagram's been a little bit strange today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you have a question, Roberto, well, let me address him since he can't get up. Roberto, if you have a question and you can't get a connection to hold, just type it in the chat and we will read it out for you. But go right ahead, Jay.
So, Mia, let me ask you, writing books, because obviously we're all entrepreneurs in here. We're all creators of something. When you write books, is it the same feeling that you get? Like there's this vibe that you feel, so you have to, like, you write it out. Is that how that works? Because obviously, you know, I write ebooks, but you write actual books that pertain to emotion, as opposed to me, I'm teaching education. So how is that the same feeling for you as like?
I think we all tap into our creative side whenever you have to write or come up with something. It's because it's coming out of your imagination, you know, a lot of the time when it comes to writing your own music or writing books or anything. Like me personally, I'll have a dream about something and see a whole plot in my head and then wake up and be like, mental note, write about this and make a basic character line so that I don't forget it later. And I will dream about music sometimes because I actually do write songs sometimes. We're going to talk about that later, Jay. But I actually
let me find out
things, and sometimes it's inspired from your work or your life. Like, you know, some of my lyrics, because I wrote a rap song about my ex-husband when I was angry with him, and I cannot really repeat some of the lyrics here. So my point is, some of the things, you know, Aziza, and you know, Jay,
you want to talk about that.
Experienced. It comes from, you know, what's inside of you. So I think all of us are very left brain and creative, and we just kind of tap into that. So I think it all does fall into the same category of creativity. Because think about it, a book can be turned into a movie, a song can be part of an entire album of tracks, and it's all entertainment for people, and people feel something. When you're watching Titanic, for example, who didn't cry when Jack went down? You know? So
I'm be honest, I didn't, but maybe it's because I'm a dude.
Okay, well, some of us cried and others sat there and debated about how she could have saved him by letting him up on the piece of board with her.
I was one of them people.
So selfish.
Yeah, she was pretty selfish. Because that whole ship, I want to digress for a second and say that everything on that ship could have been used as a floaty. They had tables, they had bench seats for the little church areas and the outskirts. Oh my God, snatching that stuff off the wall, throwing it in the water and saying, somebody get on. But
and some big grand canvas pictures and all sorts.
Oh yeah.
So the Wave guy, he said, what are your goals with music? Do you want to be under a label or independent?
I've had like 3 different sets of management, and it's been, yeah, okay, I'll answer the question. Independent is the goal, but with a strong team of people that do them for the right reasons, you know? To have a deal would be lovely, but I would say not just me as a whole, like maybe a project or a single or a publishing deal. But after having management, I do really see the value, and I underestimate myself a lot because we govern ourselves all the time. So
I agree.
Who's to say that somebody else is going to do that better than we can? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's your ideas and your creativity, and nobody's going to be better to express that. Who in here hasn't felt that if you're creative? You're like, oh, I wish I could have some help with this, but you're not going to do it the same way as what's in my head. You're not going to present it the same way. So you have to
exactly. And I totally feel you as far as like having a strong team. Like, for instance, you know, the Wave God is actually one of like a good partner of mine. Now, I'm going to give you guys a little backstory on this. The Wave guy used to hate me back when I was 18 years old.
What did you do?
Like, he told me, like, I didn't do nothing. Let me tell you. So, and this is crazy how we became good friends, but also good business and music partners too. So when we all used to go to the same school, was going to technical school, going for medical and stuff like that. Well, he felt that I was a smartass, which I can see that. When I was 18, I kind of had loose lips, like I didn't care what I said. So I can kind of see it. So now I personally never spoke to him, never talked to him and out. However, his fiance, who he's with now, we used to be best friends, like really, really close. So he thought that I was being a smart ass every time I would say something to her, but it was just really how I actually talked at that time. Fast forward, and he was already doing music since he was a kid. And then I started getting into producing beats. That's how I started. Then I was coached into starting writing. My first album, the beats, production-wise, great. Lyrics, I never released it, and I ain't gonna tell you why. I never released it. So I came out with the second album and everything of that nature. But then we became great business partners, and now we are in the part where we see eye to eye with a lot of things. We elevate if he feels like I can do better. You got that constructive criticism, not that, oh, bro, I like it, not to pat me on the back and make me feel good. And so I definitely get what you're saying about like make sure you have the strong team. I personally never had a manager. So if you can give me some insight on that, that'd be great. More so I know what not to deal with. More like, because my goal is to stay independent. I've built too much on my own for a label to take that away. But I don't know what it is like to have a manager or the backstory of what these managers do and things like that. You hear things, but you really don't know unless the artist, tells you.
Yeah. I'd say if I was to have a manager again, it would very much be the qualities I'd be looking for is someone that has experience in the field and not is, because I had a manager that was experienced but in a slightly different area. Like PR. So that didn't, whilst it pertained to music, it wasn't directly. And then that started to show. I would definitely just go for someone, if they don't want what you want, but to enhance it, I honestly can't say that I would do it.
I know what you're saying. If they're not in line with what you're trying to do and they make you feel uncomfortable, because you're going to sense some discomforture there. When you're trying to tell them one thing and they're trying to pull you in a different direction, it's almost like driving with wheels that need alignment. Your wheels need to be aligned, everybody, or you're going to.
So let me ask: if they're your manager, that makes you still basically, and I'm just gonna say it. Does that make you still their boss? Like you're their boss, or like you still control things?
Well, that's kind of the problem, because with management, they essentially work for you because you pay commission, right? Okay. But when you feel like you're working for them, it's probably not right. It's not right. I was being told, you need to lose weight, you need to dress like this, you can be like the Black Adele. There was like, there was so many things that was like put on me, and I was like, I don't want any of this. If I actually stayed with that, I saw myself doing a pink and staying for like the duration, maybe a year or two, getting to some kind of level, and then just doing one and just doing whatever I want. But that's not true to me either, because I would rebel in a way that would kind of be full of resentment and not just the way I want to feel,
Yeah, that reminds me of artists like Prince. I know he's not the only one, but he's the first one that comes to mind. He said that when he started out, all of the music that he was doing was not him. It was what the label wanted him to do. And he did it because they forced him to do it. And even think about Taylor Swift, if we jump to this generation, she's still going through court, fighting for rights to use her own songs.
Britney Spears, too. Britney Spears is still going through it.
Baron says the Black Adele. What? Who are you referring to, Baron, as the Black Adele?
That's what they said I was. They was like, oh, you can be like a Black Adele.
I was gonna say, I wish you could just like do a little Adele line.
It's really hard to it's really hard to kind of like put a label on you as it is. First of all, the purple hair that's already a popping thing. Okay. Like I first when I went to your profile, I saw that you had the purple hair. I was like, she actually has a character, which is a great thing, because not many artists have characters. Guys, it's a bit hard to have a character. So that's why guys have to create brands. But as opposed to a female, you know, you guys can color your hair, things of that nature. So I noticed the hair, and I thought it was actually like great because I'm like, well, the purple definitely rocks for her. Like it works. Then I put it basically. Then I listened to your music, and then I realized like, okay, it matches with it. It's not like you just have this. You have purple hair, but you're over there screaming rock music. It matched with what you were trying to, with like what you're doing, and so that's why honestly, like, I really start snooping on your page. I ain't gonna lie, I was low key snooping. I was trying to find some music. I couldn't find no music, so I kept replaying the same clip that you did with the sign language because I really want music from you, and I support a lot of independent artists. I do, but I really want some music. I'm gonna need to hear something.
Absolutely, it's and yeah, as I said, it's coming real soon. What I have done in terms of speaking about management, I've taken a completely different approach, and I'm working with someone that does artist development, and also a coach, like a life coach, but a coach that's in the music industry and is also a therapist. So, you know, what I'm learning very quickly, I'm about 4 weeks into this journey, but to have that strategy and the boxes to tick and, you know, make sure that and things that I might not have thought about, like, for example, I've been doing gigs and things for 15 years, but I felt like people wouldn't like my music because they like me singing soul and Motown at a wedding, for example. And she was like, have you ever asked them if they would want to hear your music? I was like, no.
Mia said that one. Mia said that best on our premiere night, that we are our worst judge. Like, we criticize ourselves in ways that we really should not be doing. And so, and honestly, like when she told me, when she said that, because even still, I still do it. And it's common. When you're a creator, it's common. But I have to also consistently remind myself that, you know, what I'm doing it's not for me. It feels good for me, but it's really for the people. Like starting the talk show and talking to Mia about it. That was a random idea. If it worked, I doubted myself. I ain't gonna lie. I did doubt, and I was like, it may not take off, you know, because I'm looking at like, well, I only have this X amount of people who engage with me. So I based it on that, but I never based it off of Mia's engagement, your engagement. So I doubted myself. And now it's kind of like, wow, I feel great. But like, yeah, she said we're our worst critic. We are very worst.
True. The one great thing I learned from the coach, the sentence just sticks with me, so I want to share it with you. Can you be adored and flawed simultaneously?
I would say yes, because nobody likes a perfectionist that is like, so everybody knows they have flaws, so people identify more with you if they know you recognize your own flaws. There's a level of humility that comes with that, because we all have issues and we all have problems and things, so people identify more with you if they know that you have some issues that you're struggling with, because then they feel like, okay, that's just like me, you know, and then you help them aspire to be more, just like you are more than your problems. We are not our problems. We are not our lowest moments. We are our best moments put together.
Yeah.
So
we got a couple of comments.
Yeah.
We got the Wave Guy. He said, do you want to do projects or singles? Projects meaning albums, EPs, things of that nature. Luis says hi in Spanish.
Hello.
And then Barry says, are you planning, or are you more, I guess he's talking to me. Are you planning, or are you more spur of the moment kind of dude when dealing with your craft? So first we're going to go back to the Wave Guy. Do you want to do more projects or singles?
Initially, definitely singles, just to build up what I've been working on, you know, to build up this brand and this whole vibe, because I'm here to be visible now. I've been hiding a lot and procrastination and all the rest of it. So like, I'm trying to get myself to where I thought I would have been when I started. Do you know what I mean?
But yeah, the first 5 years of any business is the least profitable, so don't feel bad.
I feel it. I definitely feel you.
It's like I've gained so much. Money couldn't do that.
Experience. You gain experience.
You gain experience. I started music in 2015, And I can honestly say between the years of 2015 to 2017, I didn't know what I was doing. I had no clue. I didn't even have experience on the music business side itself. But between like 2018, I was starting to kind of get in, like curious about it. And then 2019, I actually started like watching a lot of mentors who were on music and things of that nature. So between 2019 and up until now, I've been so more focused on the business side. Now, even though I've been doing this for practically almost 6 years, I at the same time don't count the, that little bit of time that I didn't know nothing because, well, all I knew is, okay, if I make music, I could get signed. That was my goal then. But obviously that's not my goal now. So, but speaking of that, right, what is your end goal to all this?
My mission is to allow people to feel freely without judgment. So as long as I touch someone enough to achieve that, I'm winning. I'm winning.
What about you, Mia? That's a good question for you too. What is your end goal? Like with the book that you're doing, what is your end goal too?
Well, remember, I'm writing multiple books, so my end goal for my novel is to get it turned into a movie. And I have turned down multiple contracts. I repeat this every time we talk about this. Read everything before you sign anything. Because
I agree.
they'll tell you own your work, but they own you, or vice versa.
Exactly.
And I'm like,
I totally agree, and I feel like that's why independence is the way. So I think that's what made me go to, was it, how you say Aziza? Am I saying that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so that's what made me go to your page, is because I see that you're serious on your craft. Because you can being far up in the music industry or any industry entertainment wise, whether it's book or whatever, you can kind of weave out those who are not serious. And most of the time, it's always through their social media. You can go there, you can see how well they're engaged, how active they are, how well people are taking to them, or if they're just a procrastinator and you know not to work with them. Like you can definitely see that. So I feel like it's probably the same with you as well. Like if you ever want to do something with somebody, you can kind of just, let me go to social media and see how they are. Because that was my frame thing. When Mia sent me your page, and I trust Mia all the time with everything, but I still do my own background and my own research because I want to know, it's like, okay, is this person lollygagging? Is this person serious? Or is this, are they really into what they say they're into? Because there's a lot of that who they claim that they're into it, but then when you get them on the show or you get them basically in front of a crowd, it's like they freeze up instantly.
Yeah, and as a procrastinator, I can see that from both sides. I think
most people procrastinate at some point in their lives. Everybody on the side.
Procrastinate. I procrastinate at some times. Like I know I got some office work tonight, and it's stuff with the music. That's why, like, you see me making facial expressions, it's pertaining to the music that I just don't want to do it right now.
And that's what it is. Sometimes mentally you just don't want to do it. Writers procrastinate. We sit down and we're like, okay, I'm going to write tonight. And then we say, but first let me go watch this show and let me go eat this food. Like there's so many memes about writers and not writing. And there's some questions in the chat, guys. Do you write off reality or fantasy? I'm thinking that one from The Way of God, is that me? I write off of both. I call it mythic realism. Because my children's book is based in reality. It's about childhood depression and things of that nature to remind people that they matter. And then my novel, The Pandora Effect, is based off of the realistic nature of the fact that we judge people far more than we should without considering what it's like to be in their shoes until we are forced into their shoes. And we have no choice but to look at life from a totally different perspective. And so that would be the realistic part of it. And then the fantasy part of it is the life after death, the whole Pandora, the whole we all have a box. What are we letting out of it? So there's a good mix in the books. Other questions. Somebody says, my signal has been in and out. Where can we support you as an artist? And as important, it's important to hear your work, I think is what they meant. So repeat it one more time because people are in and out.
Okay, just please follow me. I took a lot of my solo stuff, well, everything solo down. For a rebrand, I changed my name and, I'm coming back on the 14th of September. But in the meantime, there's a lot of collaborations and things that you can find in the link in my bio.
You guys hear that? Check the link in her bio. She's doing a rebrand, kind of like the artist formerly known as Prince. She's coming back. She's changing the name, but you know he was bigger and better the second go around. So
exactly,
yeah, way more.
And was it Byron or Baron? Baron, I don't want to forget your question because it's been sitting on my screen for the longest. When you asked me if I was a planner or I'm a spur of a moment type of guy, I'm actually a little bit of both. Business-wise, I plan out things because, you know, that's something that you have to take care of, and you have to make sure that when you plan that, it goes according to plan. Music and coming up with brand expansions and things like that, most of the time that's on the spur side. So if let's say, if I feel like I want to do a song, that can be at a spur of the moment. For instance, like my last single, Passion Fruit Summer, when I got on Drake's song, you know, Passion Fruit, I like the beat and so much that it was a spur out of the moment where I just wanted to get on the song and actually put my own voice to it. Merchant line is another thing where I'm, you know, sporadic with it. I just come off the top. So I'm a bit both. I don't really have a set side where I'm planning. More so business is the planning side.
Yeah. It sounds like you get inspired and then you go for it. You kind of jump on things when you get inspired.
Pretty much.
The way everybody should be, because you talked about procrastination earlier, but it's not always procrastination when people get stage fright and things. Sometimes they literally are just like when you freeze. Sometimes it's literally just inside that inspiration hasn't hit you to the point where you can just be up there and go bam. Sometimes you're self-doubting. Sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, or forget a lyric even, you know, it happens. It happens. It happens to everybody.
It
That's
really
where
does.
that perfection comes in that people identify with. Somebody says, what is your favorite emotion to draw from when writing? Oh gosh. Honestly, I think some of the best music, some of the best writing and everything comes from your darker emotions, to be honest with you. Because
I agree.
Happiness brings bubblegum. People don't want bubblegum in a world where people are dying, in a world where people can barely pay their rent. In a world, they want something they can identify with. So when they hear the darker parts of your life, whereas I'm going through something, okay, they're going through something. That's what sells. When you're going through something,
it sells all the time. What they call it, being authentic. That sells all the time, and that goes with anything, whether it's, you know, if you're, like you said, writing a book, or you're doing music, or even sometimes movies too. It just, when you're authentic about what's going on in your life, and then you basically put it out there for others to kind of feel what you're going through, it does sell. I've had a lot more of my, because I'm a conscious writer, I've had a lot of more of my conscious music stream higher than my non-conscious music. So there is definitely a difference between the two if you was to compare them. People want to feel if they're in a depressed mood and they want to hear some depressing songs, they're going to listen to that. If they're in a happy mood, they're going to look for, you know, happy music. They're not going to look for something that doesn't satisfy their mood.
Yeah, I'm not going to listen to the Macarena if I want to hear Gloomy Sunday. You know, I'm going to go for
pretty much.
Yeah, you're gonna find what identifies with you. He says procrastination is sometimes the key to development of concepts. Would you guys agree with that?
True.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
That moment
I agree.
you were saying about going to get some food before you write and things. Like, oh, do you know what?
Yeah.
Let me just get a shower. And then it might just come to you. As soon as the water touches you, you're like, oh, that's it. Do you know what I mean?
I have a question for you, because this is something I do, and I just want to see if it's just me. So when I'm writing, oftentimes I will not know the end of what I'm writing. It just comes to me as I'm writing. Does that ever happen to you guys when you're doing something creative where it's literally just coming to you as you're doing it, and you're like, oh, I didn't even know the end to that? You know, and I've heard writers do that.
I'm going to let Aziza answer that first. I'm going to let her answer that first. Yeah, definitely answer that.
Go for it, girl.
Yeah, I love those ones. I just take it as like, it's like I'm being told the story as I'm telling the story. So then all I've really got to then figure out is,
it's like an out-of-body experience where you're looking at it with the audience. It's so weird.
Absolutely.
Like, only creatives would understand that.
I know for a fact it definitely happens with me, especially writing music, because, you know, let's say especially if you produce your own instrumentals, this is where it becomes really hard sometimes, because you can produce a nice instrumental, you know, maybe three hooks, 2 verses, or vice versa, whatever. And you're writing, right? And like you know, okay, the hook is gonna loop itself. So we already know that. But when you're down to the verse, and like it could be down where you're writing the first verse, and it's so good that you're running into that hook, and you're sitting here like, okay, let me backtrack, let me figure out how to change this. Like you really have that outer body experience when doing your own music. So yeah, it does happen for us, and it frustrates me at times. I'm not gonna lie, it does frustrate me because it becomes a nuisance because it's like, why are you here right now? This is not what I need. Let me end the song or let me end the verse so I can move on to the hook to move on to the second verse. So
Maren says, I do photography, so procrastination is key. Sometimes I feel like a hunter, and every subject is my prey, and my gun is my camera. Sometimes I make gun sounds on photo shoots. Hey, whatever.
So cool.
He's like, his
had a
camera.
photo shoot today. Yeah. If I'd have thought that I was being shot every time, it would have been a little bit scarier than it was. But
I was gonna say, I don't know about the gun sounds.
but that's, I mean, I mean, Baron, is that Baron, right?
Okay. Baron of 9.
Yeah, that's creative. I mean, he could probably find his niche with that. I mean, for instance, like the guy we was talking about on TikTok, he doesn't say a word.
Yep.
He doesn't say a word, and he's worth 2 million.
That's it.
That's all he does.
He makes his money off of making you feel stupid because you're being stupid, and that is just beautiful to us because we all feel that. We're like, he's so sick of us. Welcome, Brazil. Lucas is from Brazil. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us all the way over from Brazil. We are, again, if you're
welcome, Brazil.
We're talking to Aziza Jaye. She is an up-and-coming, amazing artist that has been in this business for quite some time, and she's doing a rebranding of herself. We are going to see some amazing things from her, I already know. So I do want to ask, because we're coming down to the 15-minute wire, Aziza, would you like to perform something for us today? We would really, really love to hear you sing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Is there any kind of vibe? Have you got a vibe? Where are you at?
What we got?
Whatever feels good for you. Whatever feels good for you personally. Yes. I'm a person who listens to all genres.
Okay.
I'm not like, so I'm trying to get into that wave of how you are, like doing all genres. That's a little bit hard for me because I'm a guy. I can't, singing is not really a thing for me. Okay. But that's beside the point. But yeah, I mean, I listen to all genres, so I think it's whatever you feel.
I'm gonna say surprises.
But I'd love to hear it.
The audience is gonna love it. Oh, somebody said Neon Soul.
I don't have one of those yet.
She said she doesn't have one of those yet, but get whatever you have that's similar or close to it, maybe something smooth. I think they're looking for. So
let's do smooth.
Give us a smooth vibe.
Okay. Smooth but conscious. We'll go for the sign language video.
Cool.
Oh, that was actually a smooth song.
Mm-hmm. It's got a bit of an intro, but I'll just let it run, right?
Okay.
Does it sound good?
If you can get louder, if you can get any louder, then by all means. Now with the recording, kick this up. Better? What you do behind my screen. You're welcome. Not behind my screen. What you do behind my screen. Not behind my screen. Yeah. What you do. No. Welcome to the digital era where all you see and all you hear is like a mutual reality. Distance between you and me is not the way it used to be or how it's supposed to be. I crave familiarity. I'm feeling more and more alone when I'm stepping outside of my home with my friends but on my own. The only ones who really know that I chose to be with you today, cause you won't make me feel that way.
Yeah. Welcome to the misinformed era, where all you see and all you hear projects a false sense of reality. Show difference between you and me, separating unity where all the similarities that crave familiarity. Whenever I look at my phone, one of us who didn't make it home was scared to walk the street alone. We should have never had to grieve, but instead they have us on our knees. Just give us back our right to breathe. Why can't I just wear myself proudly, just in case I cause offense to someone who can't see around me? Well, it's funny cause more minds surround me, but they keep it to themselves as they smile profoundly. I never wanted to be seen as a black girl. In school they didn't see my world. I was 1 out of 400 learning this story, but I bet they never wondered how it felt to learn a lie but know the truth. I've been hearing this since I was a youth. There's gotta be more to the story, where is all the fame and glory? I'm feeling more and more alone when I'm stepping outside of my home, with my friends but on my own. The only ones who really know that I chose to be with you today, cause you won't make me feel that way. I'm gonna leave that there, yeah? Thank you.
That was so
Wow.
good.
Yo, I'm going to need that. You got to give that song up. You have to give that song up. I'm gonna need you to stop being selfish.
It's not out yet, but yeah, it's coming.
Again, if you're just joining us, that was Aziza Jaye performing. Give them the name of the track and where they can find it.
You can't see, and it's not released yet.
It's unreleased, but it's coming, and you guys heard it here.
It is coming.
So
It's coming.
You heard it first. You heard it first and officially on and at the black table. You're not finding it nowhere else. You're finding it at the black table. You got to tune in.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Guys, we're gonna have you back again, Aziza. So when you're ready to come back, you just let us know if you got new music coming out, because we want everybody to keep up with what's going on with you. And the audience does get bigger. Like even when we don't have a lot of people on the live, when we post these, Jay gets hundreds of hits on these. So you're gonna be getting a lot of.
I watched myself. It's like I love what.
Yeah, I try not to blow. I try not to blow your stuff up. I try not to blow your DMs up with like posting and sharing so much, but I'm an open and I will receive, so that's fine. But again, you know, some people get agitated with it, so I try to maintain my limits and stuff like that. What was something I wanted to ask you? So when you do release your music and everything, is it going to be like on a specific place where people can get it, or are you going to release it worldwide, such as Spotify, Pandora, things of that nature?
Yeah, it will just be worldwide.
Nice.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Ooh.
So it's coming out everywhere. She's saying worldwide, guys.
Everywhere.
If anybody wants to come up, I know some of you were trying to come up while she was singing, but we were trying to give her the spotlight, so we couldn't have everybody talking. But if you want to come up and speak to her now, jump right back on. We've got about 9 minutes left in this session. So, guys, if there's something you want to ask, something pressing you'd like to say to her, by all means, come on up or just keep typing in chat. We've got a lot of love going on in chat right now. Baron says, boom, boom, boom in the room. He gives you lots of love and hearts. Anita says, you are amazing. Baron comes back with good job. Who else? The Wave God gives you props. Anita says, goosebumps already. And I think that was when you started singing. Baron, you had Baron blushing. So hard.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you have Baron blushing.
So yeah, that's what you want to do. You want to hold on, Harrison. You sent a request. Oh, you did. I don't know why it disappeared. That was weird. But I just accepted you, Harris. Come on up, and we'll make this a Brady Bunch moment. 4 squares.
I do listen to Sizzler sometimes.
Sizzler.
Oh, okay. Harris, welcome, bro. Welcome.
Yo.
You were in the dark right now.
I had to.
I don't know why y'all always do that.
That's too fire, yo. That was fire. That was fire. I'm not gonna lie. That was fire.
He's talking
you know, I'm not even that type of person like to watch these things, but that was fire. I'm not gonna lie. That was really fire.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, he really doesn't engage with like a lot of lives and stuff. He does his own live most of the time, but he doesn't really engage in lives and stuff like that. So for him to actually come up on the camera and say that it's fire,
and
I know it's genuine.
Well, I'm blessed. Thank you.
Yeah, and he turned the light on. Yeah, he ain't out here looking like the Grim Reaper.
All right, sorry, y'all hear that thing. I just had to turn my light back on.
Definitely appreciate the love. Aziza, you are amazing. Guys, we've got about 8 minutes. Aziza, is there anything you want to wrap up with?
For me?
Yes.
Oh, like, well, I want to just ask you, how long? This is number 3 or 4, right? 4.
This is
Is this 4?
episode 4.
Yeah.
4.
Okay.
Like
Well,
Star
you know,
Wars episode 4.
yeah. keep doing it, and any chance I get to share and join and all that business, I love it. It's been such a long time, because in lockdown this was the norm, right?
Yeah.
And this became real popular. So the fact that you're taking to committing outside of having all that free time says a lot. It says a lot. It really does, to give other people a platform as well. It's a beautiful
exactly thing. And it's funny because when we started this, like he was saying, nobody really had free time. It's like you were always doing something, because we're all stuck in, you know, this kind of perpetual loop right now with COVID and everything. But we found a way to squeeze it all in. And it's funny, when you find a way to adjust yourself as a person, you automatically adjust mentally. You make time for what is important to you. That's what I was always taught.
And then you attract what you're meant to have. So
absolutely.
And it was definitely something that, like I said, it was something that me and Mia was having a normal life. It was the most normal life we could ever have. And then again, I don't know if any of our lives are technically normal, but it was a good life. But it was a lot of engagement, and at this time I was in Puerto Rico at this time, but the idea has sparked, like, why don't you create a actual talk show, which is something I don't see nobody on social media doing. You know, people have webinars, people let people get on lives, but most of the time they're wasting time. You have a few talent shows here and there, but you don't see nobody who has a scheduled talk show. So I was sitting there and I was like, well, the only person I trust as far as like that's going to be persistent with it, that's going to be consistent with it, is Mia, as far as business and everything goes. And so that's why I asked her. Come to find out, I didn't know that she wanted to do a talk show. So it worked itself out in a great manner.
We just kind of peanut butter and jellied it.
I love that. It was meant to be. Thank you, Baron, as well. I caught your message there. Sizzling.
Yes, the start had a sizzling type of flow, which is really refreshing. Absolutely.
It is. It's different. Your music is very different, and it's different in a good way. You take the time out, you craft it, and you put effort into it, and just you performing that song, that takes a lot of heart to do that, because there's a lot of people who don't like. For one, all 3 of us in this camera right now, we're already winning, because we're not ashamed to get on there. At this point, we've already accepted and we love ourselves who we are. So we all love ourselves who we are, which is why we're on this camera right now, which is why she was able to perform and we was able to, you know, get more background. That takes a lot of courage and a lot of love to do that, because there is not anybody that can do that.
Anita says Instagram needs to upgrade to have more than 4 people. We've been saying that for the longest time. We need at least 6. There are plenty of other platforms that allow way more than this. Not like boxes on boxes where everybody's just holding a whole. I will literally go on certain platforms I'm not going to mention here, but they rhyme with Migo. And and people will literally be on there clowning so badly that I will just turn it on and grab my popcorn, so to speak, and watch a whole TV show of everybody just, yes.
Yeah, there are a lot more different platforms out there that have the ability to do it. So hopefully Instagram catches up. I'm praying that they do. I'm also praying that they implement the setting where we can turn our phones or anything vertical.
Yeah.
Because our phones have to stay horizontal. And sometimes you know, if you want a wider screen, you have to push whatever you have in front further back. So hopefully they can go vertical instead of horizontal all the time.
Yeah, party. We're not going to
We'll
have that party at my house. I'm going to just address him. This is not that kind of party, sir. We are not there. Now, when we're
There's
celebrating,
always one.
that's what I'm saying. Getting drunk, that's one thing. So that's why I said people can have fun. It's not that serious. You know, most people will be like, "Oh my God, my word." No, when we're getting drunk, we'll rub everything. But for right now. But yes, and I
totally agree.
Yes, and I know it's getting late. I just want to thank Aziza again for coming on this live.
What time do you have over there?
It's almost 5 a.m.
Yeah.
It's almost 5 a.m. So definitely super thank you for that. I do appreciate you for that, because that is, sometimes I stay up that late, but for a talk show, I'm not even gonna lie.
You've been sleeping. But that is how she takes this craft, and that is why we love her so much, because she takes this seriously, so we take her seriously. You know, you have to take yourself seriously first, self first, if you want other people to respect that. And I do want to be, and again, guys, you can go on her page, and she has a Linktree link on there for you to explore more of her music and her bio. She's gonna
please follow her.
Yes, please follow Aziza Jaye. You can just click her name right at the top of the screen. Jay, would you be so kind, since I am hands-free right now, to drop her name in the chat for them as well?
Yep.
Also, again, she's rebranding, so she's going to be coming out with way more music soon. Aziza, we hope to have you back very, very soon.
Thank you so much. Thank you again for having me.
I'm putting it in right now.
Okay, he's putting the name in the chat, guys.
If I can stop fat fingering it.
5 a.m. Yeah, Anita said 5 a.m. You gave us that. Yes, she did. She stayed up till 5
there you go.
for us, guys. So
there you go. So that's her name right there.
Thank you so
Somebody
much.
wants you to come to the Caribbean and St. Lucia. We're on the COVID blacklist. You do realize the blacklist is a negative thing, right? I think you mean the white.
I'll get out of here. Take me, please.
But I was gonna say, but anytime you travel right now, you're gonna have to sign so many things and take so many tests. That's why nobody really wants to do it, because it's so much. And then don't let you test positive while you're over there.
Right.
Yeah, that was one of the things when I had to fly to Puerto Rico, we had to take the test before we left. Thank God it came out negative, but it's still a lot of multiple steps. Eventually they're probably going to get to the point where they start enforcing where people have to have a vaccine in order to fly and stuff. But in the meantime, you guys be safe. You know, this COVID thing is serious. It's not nothing to take light. It's not nothing to take like vaccinated or non-vaccinated, whatever your beliefs are. Still take it easy. Wash your hands and don't do no nasty stuff.
Cover your mouth.
Please.
Cover your mouth. You wear a mask when you're in big crowds, guys. Don't, try not to be part of a super spreader. We don't want to see anybody wind up in the hospital. And we've got Delta variant, Lambda's right behind it. I think it's B163 or whatever it's called. And right behind that, we have a new one. It's got a very cute name, but there's nothing cute about Mew.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sounds like a Pokemon. Who's that Delta? Who's that COVID virus? It's Mew.
Yeah. What's that Pokemon? Mew and Mewtwo. That's the Pokemon.
Wow.
So yeah.
Yes, and that's the virus. Oh, okay. It is 11, guys. I'm gonna let you wrap up, Aziza, but I do want to let you guys know. Again, thank you so much for coming tonight. We've got tune in Sunday. We're here Sunday and Thursday at 10 p.m. Central Time, 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific, and what time in the UK?
4 a.m.
4 a.m. UK time. We've got another guest coming on Sunday. His name is Andre Columbus. He is a veteran and a comic. I really hope you all tune in for him. Aziza, I'm going to give you the floor now before we wrap up.
Thank you so much. All right. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to be here. And yeah, please just feel free to follow me. And I promise you the goods will be delivered real soon.
That's what we want to hear.
I'm going to hold you to that. Literally,
the 14th of September is going to be the first one.
September 14th.
In fact,
that's the date.
Set my notifications for that one.
That's the drop date, September 14th. So
Yeah.
you guys be there, or I don't want to say be square because I feel so old. Yeah.
No, be there, be square. I don't care.
I like that one, yeah.
So another thing I want to make sure that you guys know. Rather, it's either Mia or me hosting the live. Depending on who's hosting the live, they all will be uploaded to YouTube. Instagram only allows up to a 15-minute mark as far as uploading. So if you want to see the full hour episode, you would have to go to YouTube and you can watch it completely on there. Trust me, this downloading thing and uploading thing takes time, so be patient. I still have to upload, obviously, 4 episodes, but it's taking me time to get this stuff. But if you go to my YouTube, it'll be there. The link is also in my bio. I will be posting also a recap on my feed. I'll be sending it to Aziza, Mia as well. So everybody will have a recap on how the episode went. And obviously, I'm the guy that's going to find all the funny stuff.
Yeah, recaps are my favorite part because I know he's going to find his favorite scene and it's going to be something crazy.
Yeah, it's going to be something crazy. It's going to be something crazy, but just be patient. If you don't feel like you missed another episode, because I've been getting a lot of that where people has been asking me, but it's because Instagram only allows 15 minutes, and I'm not going to upload only 15 minutes to Instagram when there's a full hour. It just makes no sense. So I'd rather go over to YouTube. If we all have YouTube, I'm sure, I would hope so. Follow us all on YouTube, and then I'll be working on the back end as far as that stuff.
What should they search on?
Like I said, my link's in the bottom.
What's your YouTube name for them? Give it to them.
So my YouTube name, I think it should be Jay Simmons. I'm sorry. I have so many social medias, so please forgive me because
guys,
I have.
In the meantime, I'm gonna cover him right now and tell you the link is also in his bio on Instagram. So until he figures out his name, click the link in the bio on Instagram. We'll go back over this again on Sunday. Aziza, do you have a YouTube channel?
I do. It's Aziza Jaye. So everything will be on the link tree. Okay. So you can just hit me up there.
Guys, check the link tree on her page and you can find all of her information. I'm going over just a little bit.
Yeah.
I started a minute or two late and I want to give her time to get all this in because this is super important. Again, her drop date for the first release is September 14th.
September 14th.
So Be ready, guys, because after that drops, we're going to have her back on here again at some point in the near future to see what is going on in the life of this amazing soon-to-be.
And I hope to work with you, you know, as far as do a song. I would love to do a song with you. So hopefully in the near future we can work on, you know, collaborating and doing something together.
Slap, yeah.
It's possible. It's possible. And, you know, however it is, just know it'll be on time.
Yep. And just remember, when you blow up, you heard it first here, guys, on the Black Table.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back again Sunday with another episode. Please feel free to tune in. As always, you matter. You are important. We love you. And if you're suffering from depression, you are not alone. Please feel free to reach out to us. We will be glad to help in any way we can. Thank you guys so much for joining us on the Black Table. Aziza, peace.
I love you. International sign. There we go.
Oh, yeah. And just know, what happens at the Black Table stays at the Black Table. Just know that. Just know that.
Yes. Keep it here, guys. Yes,
you guys have a good night.
Day, September 14th, Barron says this is new Valentine's Day. This man loves her music. Spread the word.
Oh, man.
Push those downloads. Download her music. Support.
Spread the word, Barron. Spread the word. Definitely spread the word. Share her music. Follow her on YouTube. Do all what you got to do, man. If you really like her content, support her. It costs nothing to support.
I was going to say, and we're probably going to see her again with millions and millions of followers and hits in the future, but we got her first, and that we are so proud of here at the Black Table. All right, guys. Well, I guess that's it for the night.
Good night.
Good night.
Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Or more like good morning for you.
Yeah.
Good night and good morning. Good day.
She's going to bed now. All right. Have a good night, everyone.
Bye.
All righty.
Black Table. Goodbye.